Hi everyone, it's Miss Rossi. Today we're going to be making artwork inspired by the book Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. What you'll be needing today is your Chicka Chicka Boom Boom paper from your art folder. So this is just a white square piece of paper. We can take the label off of it because we don't need that anymore. I have a pencil. We're also going to need some crayons today, and I have some watercolor paints today as well. Today we are going to create an abstract picture of all of the letters of the alphabet all stacked up like they are when they fall out of the coconut tree in Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. So to start with our pencil, we are going to start drawing all of the letters of the alphabet in a nice big abstract pile as if they just fell out of the coconut tree. I'm going to draw my letters in order of the alphabet, and I'm going to draw them all over my paper with all different sizes. I can do capital letters and I can do lowercase letters. So I'm going to draw an A. I am not going to let my letters overlap. I'm going to have some space in between them as I make all my different letters stacked up in a pile. As I'm drawing my letters, they are going in all different directions. Some are sideways, some can be upside down. You can turn your paper as you are drawing your letters too to help you make all different kinds of positions for your letters to be in a big pile towards the bottom of my paper, making sure to leave some space in between. All right, now I have all of my letters of my alphabet stacked up in an abstract pile towards the bottom of my page like they just fell out of our coconut tree. Now I'm going to put my pencil down and I'm going to grab a black crayon. And with my black crayon, I'm just going to trace over all of my letters. Now you can also use a permanent marker or a pen to do this. If your letters are a little bit smaller, something like a marker or a pen might work a little bit better. But with my crayon, I'm just going to trace right over the top of my letters so they are darker and easier to see. Now that all of my letters are traced and easier to see, I'm grabbing a bunch of different colored crayons that I can use to add some extra decorations to my picture to make it even more abstract and exciting looking. So with each of my crayons, I'm going to make some bubble letters around my alphabet letters. So I'm going to draw a line that bounces around each one of my letters. So as I'm tracing around the outside, I'm following that shape of my letter, but I'm leaving a little bit of white space in between, almost like a sidewalk. And I'm just following around the outside of that whole letter, bouncing in and out of all of the little nooks and crannies. I'm going to do two colors around each of my letters. Again, following that same shape around the outside, but leaving a little bit of white space in the area. And I'm going to do this around all of my letters, so my colors are going to start to overlap. That's okay because we are making an abstract picture today, so it's not going to look realistic. It might get a little messy and a little crazy, but all we want to end up with is something bright and colorful and exciting looking. So it's okay if these colors that we are adding and these shapes that we are drawing start to overlap with each other. On some of my letters that have that inside space, I am going to create a second little section in there, almost like an extra bubble to help create the shape of my letter. So I'm going with two different colors around all of my letters, creating a bright and colorful outline. Now you can use whatever colors you would like. It is up to you. And I'm not really coloring anything in, I am just tracing around the outsides. Now that I went around all of my letters with my different colored crayons 2 times with 2 different bubble outlines, I'm going to go in and paint my picture. Right now my picture looks like a beautiful, colorful, crazy pile of all different letters from our alphabet, just like they fell out of our coconut tree and exploded into bursts of color for each letter. I'm going to grab my watercolor paints and I'm just going to paint my background, and I can do one color for my background, I can pick a couple different colors, or I can do all the different colors and create a bright, colorful tie-dyed background. You can pick what you think is going to work best for your picture. It is up to you. And now since we are using watercolors with our crayons today, our watercolors and our crayons are going to resist each other just like they did on our last project. So they won't cover over our crayons as long as we use them so they are nice and bright and dark on our paper. We will still be able to see those beautiful crayon colors shining through our watercolor paints. So even though I'm painting over these letters with my yellow paint here, I can still see those black letters and all the cool colors I used to trace them. So I'm just going to go in with my watercolor and fill in the rest of my background. As I'm using my watercolor paints, I am making sure to wet my paintbrush and wipe it off on the edge of my cup. And then I'm going to swirl my brush carefully in my watercolor, making sure I'm not jamming the brush into my paints because I don't want to hurt my paintbrush. I want to keep the tip nice and pointy. Before I go into a new color, I'm making sure to wash my paintbrush so it is clean and I don't mix colors in my tray. It's always fun to mix our colors inside our picture, but we want to keep them nice and clean in our tray so it doesn't get too messy. And I'm just going to go in and fill in my background with all of my different colors. And that is my picture all finished. I made sure to fill in all of the white space. I can still see all of those bright and colorful outlines that I made of all of my letters. Once you're finished, you can let your picture dry and take a photo or video of it to upload on my Canvas page. I can't wait to see all of the bright and colorful abstract alphabet pictures you guys have created. Try your best, have fun, and get creative, and I'll see you soon. Bye!